Deep within the untamed wilderness lives the camel, a creature of immense grace and evolutionary power. Navigating through shifting dunes, it relies on instincts honed over millions of years. Every step is calculated as it searches for distant nourishment. Survival in this brutal environment demands total focus and unmatched endurance from the majestic wanderer. Golden morning sunlight illuminates a vast, unforgiving sea of sand stretching toward the horizon. Shifting winds carve intricate patterns across the landscape while temperatures begin their relentless climb. Across this desolate expanse, a lone traveler moves with deliberate and steady rhythm. It negotiates the challenging terrain with an innate sense of direction that defies modern comprehension. Specialized anatomy grants this resilient being a distinct advantage against blowing sand and oppressive heat. Thick double rows of long eyelashes shield sensitive vision from blinding dust storms. Slit-like nostrils can close completely to lock out abrasive particles during harsh atmospheric disturbances. Every physical attribute serves a vital purpose in maintaining internal stability. Beneath the rugged hide, an intricate network of blood vessels regulates internal temperature with astonishing precision. The brain receives cooled blood through a specialized cooling system located near the carotid sinus. This biological marvel prevents heat stroke when afternoon temperatures soar well past 50 degrees Celsius. Endurance here is not merely luck, it is a masterpiece of design. Moving forward with silent dignity, the camel scans the horizon for any sign of sparse vegetation. Its padded, two-toed feet spread widely upon contact with loose sand to prevent sinking. This ingenious adaptation transforms heavy bodies into light, floating wonders across treacherous terrain. Few other mammals can conquer such fluid landscapes with comparable elegance. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across the valley, carrying the faint scent of moisture from a distant oasis. Instantly, the alert ears twitch forward to pinpoint the exact origin of the sensory cue. Without hesitation, pace quickens as a collective drive for hydration takes absolute precedence. Hope springs eternal within hearts forged by countless generations of drought. Reaching the dry riverbed, sharp eyes scan acacia branches for tender green leaves left untouched by previous visitors. Tough lips and strong jaws easily strip thorny foliage that would lacerate the mouth of any ordinary herbivore. Digestive chemistry takes over immediately, breaking down cellulose with powerful stomach chambers. Nothing edible goes to waste in these demanding domains. For hours, feeding continues in relative peace while scouts keep a vigilant watch for potential threats lurking nearby. Although large-sized deters most predators, caution remains an essential daily ritual for the wandering band. A low rumble echoes through the dry air, communicating subtle shifts in mood across the family group. Communication is quiet, deliberate, and remarkably effective. As the afternoon sun begins its slow descent, shadows lengthen dramatically across the rippled dunes. The herd gathers closer together, forming a tight-knit defensive circle against the coming chill of night. Rest is brief, punctuated by the rhythmic sound of rumination as food is processed. Vigilance never truly sleeps when survival hangs in the balance. By midnight, the desert transforms from an inferno into a freezing wasteland where the hardy camel thrives despite the cold. Thick winter coats begin growing in anticipation of seasonal temperature plunges that freeze standing water. Internal thermostats adjust seamlessly to combat the rapid loss of ambient heat. This thermal flexibility remains one of the most astonishing biological feats known. Dawn breaks once more, painting the sky in vibrant shades of amber, violet, and pale rose. Stretching tired limbs, the group prepares to resume the endless march across the mineral-rich plains. Young calves stumble slightly at first before matching the steady stride of experienced matriarchs. Experience is passed down through generations along ancient, invisible migration routes. Navigating rocky outcrops requires immense dexterity from heavy frames that appear ill-suited for vertical climbs. Hooves grip sharp limestone ledges with surprising agility, ascending slopes that baffle even seasoned mountaineers. Every muscle works in perfect harmony to maintain balance above dizzying drop-offs. The wilderness demands versatility, and these animals provide it in abundance. Water, the ultimate currency of the desert, dictates every decision made during these scorching daylight hours. When a source is finally located, consumption happens in record-breaking volumes to replenish depleted reserves. In mere minutes, astonishing quantities of liquid flood the bloodstream without causing cellular damage. Such physiological wizardry leaves modern scientists utterly fascinated. Far from being mere water storage tanks, the humps perched atop the back serve a much more sophisticated biological function. Composed primarily of dense adipose tissue, they act as concentrated energy reserves for lean times. When food is scarce, fat metabolizes into metabolic water and energy. Form follows function in a brilliant display of natural engineering. As midday heat reaches its absolute peak, the wild camel seeks refuge beneath the sparse shade of stunted scrub trees. Panting is avoided entirely to conserve precious internal moisture, allowing body temperature to rise safely. By storing heat during the day, energy expenditure drops significantly. It is a masterclass in physiological efficiency amidst extreme adversity. A sudden commotion ripples through the resting herd as a distant dust cloud signals the approach of rival males. Territorial disputes are legendary, involving deep vocalizations, impressive displays of size, and powerful neck wrestling. Dominance must be asserted to secure mating rights and protect vulnerable offspring from aggressive outsiders. Tension fills the stifling air as rivals lock horns. The clash is brief but intense, showcasing raw power wrapped in deceptively calm exteriors. Necks intertwine in a violent display of leverage designed to push opponents down into the sand. Defeat is acknowledged quickly, preventing fatal injuries within the tightly knit populations. Order is restored, and the victor claims undisputed leadership of the wandering procession. Cooler evening breezes sweep away the lingering heat, encouraging the group to resume foraging before total darkness descends. Searching systematically, they harvest salty shrubs that other animals ignore completely due to high mineral content. Specialized kidneys filter out excess salt with surgical precision, excreting concentrated waste. Nothing in this biology is left to chance. Starlight blankets the nocturnal wilderness in a luminous glow that guides the nocturnal leg of the journey. Vision adapts remarkably well to low-light conditions, ensuring continuous movement without stumbling on uneven ground. Shadows dance across the landscape as silent giants glide like phantoms through the night. The rhythm of the desert continues undisturbed by human presence. Sunrise reveals a fresh landscape sculpted anew by nocturnal winds, erasing old tracks and leaving blank canvases behind. The resilient camel pauses on a high ridge, surveying the vast domain with calm authority. Every instinct is tuned to the frequency of the wild, listening to secrets whispered by the wind. This is a life defined by freedom, endurance, and timeless survival. Passing through a narrow canyon, echoes amplify the low, vibrating calls that maintain social cohesion across the scattered group. Keeping in contact prevents separation in blinding dust storms or sudden flash floods that occasionally plague the region. Cooperation remains the cornerstone of success in habitats where isolation equals certain death. Together, they form an unbreakable bond. Spring brings brief explosions of vibrant wildflowers across patches of ground touched by rare seasonal rainstorms. For a few short weeks, abundance replaces scarcity, and the diet shifts to lush, green vegetation. Weight is rapidly gained, and fat reserves are replenished to maximum capacity. Nature offers a fleeting feast before returning to its standard harshness. Mating season arrives with the cooling of the autumn air, bringing heightened activity and dramatic displays of dominance. Males exhibit peculiar behaviors, tossing sand over their backs and secreting dark fluids from special head glands. These pheromones advertise status and readiness to prospective partners across vast distances. Romance in the wilderness is driven entirely by primal chemistry. Gestation is a prolonged affair lasting over a year, ensuring that offspring are born during the most favorable climatic windows. When the time comes, the mother isolates herself briefly to give birth on a secluded patch of sand. A newborn calf struggles to its feet within hours, eager to nurse and join the traveling band. New life brings renewed hope to ancient bloodlines. Guarded fiercely by the entire herd, the young camel learns crucial survival lessons simply by observing adult behaviors. Playful lunges and awkward running practice build coordination and muscle strength for the grueling miles ahead. Mother's milk provides rich nutrients that fuel rapid growth during the critical first months. Education in the wild is immediate, practical, and uncompromising. A sudden flash flood roaring down a dry wadi forces the herd to scramble urgently up steep embankments. Raging torrents of muddy water reshape the valley floor in minutes, demonstrating nature's violent and unpredictable power. Safety is reached just in time, highlighting the importance of situational awareness in a dynamic world. Respect for the environment is etched into every survival instinct. As the floodwaters quickly recede into the thirsty ground, fresh vegetation begins to sprout along the damp edges of the channel. The herd wastes no time capitalizing on this unexpected bounty, feeding voraciously on the tender new shoots. Adaptability to sudden environmental shifts separates thriving populations from those destined to vanish. Fortune favors those who respond swiftly to change. Dusk falls with dramatic flair, painting the clouds in fiery hues of orange and deep indigo. The nomads settle into their nightly routine, chewing the cud in quiet contentment beneath a canopy of stars. Distant calls of nocturnal hunters echo faintly from the rocky ridges, reminding everyone of persistent dangers. Rest is earned through vigilance, endurance, and unwavering resilience. Years pass, and the landscape evolves slowly while enduring cycles of severe drought and brief, miraculous rebirths. Through it all, the enduring lineage persists, carrying the genetic history of an entire ecosystem within its veins. Every scar tells a story of survival against daunting odds in theaters of unyielding stone and sand. The spirit of the wilderness lives on inside these forms. Standing silhouetted against the morning sky, the magnificent camel represents the pinnacle of desert adaptation and evolutionary triumph. It asks for nothing from the modern world, existing purely on terms dictated by ancient natural laws. To witness this creature in its pristine habitat is to understand the true meaning of resilience. Here, beauty and power merge into an unforgettable living monument. Exploring further into remote plateaus, small groups scatter to maximize foraging efficiency across limited grazing spots. Communication relies on subtle body language and low-frequency vocalizations that travel great distances across open flats. Separation is temporary, as an invisible magnetic pull always draws the family units back together by nightfall. Social bonds transcend the vastness of the empty territory. Mineral licks provide essential salts and trace elements required to maintain optimum health in harsh environments. Licking exposed rock faces or saline soils satisfies biochemical cravings that instinct drives relentlessly. Every individual takes turns accessing the mineral source, maintaining orderly protocol even when resources are scarce. Cooperation prevents conflict and ensures community well-being remains high. A passing dust devil sweeps through the resting area, lifting columns of fine sand high into the turbulent sky. Without flinching, the group turns their backs to the whirling vortex, letting the storm pass harmlessly over thick hides. Once the air clears, shaking off excess dust is performed with casual indifference. Minor inconveniences are shrugged off by veterans of the open waste. As seasons cycle toward the peak of summer, journeys between water holes become longer and more perilous than ever. Every drop of metabolic water is guarded jealously by complex physiological feedback loops operating within the bloodstream. Weakness is fatal, so only the strongest and most experienced lead the perilous marches. Natural selection operates here with absolute, unyielding precision. Reaching the summit of a towering dune, the weathered camel pauses to scan the hazy expanse for familiar landmarks. The wind carries faint whispers of distant storms, signaling potential relief from oppressive heat waves. Instinct urges forward motion, driving the tireless wanderer deeper into the heart of untamed territories. The journey has no real beginning and certainly no predictable end. As daylight fades, silhouettes merge seamlessly with deepening twilight across the rolling desert floor. Temperatures plummet rapidly, forcing huddling behaviors that preserve body heat through freezing nocturnal hours. Silence blankets the wilderness, broken only by the occasional deep sigh of a resting giant. Nature rests briefly before beginning the endless cycle all over again tomorrow. Morning light reveals a pristine landscape untouched by time, stretching infinitely in every breathtaking direction. Young offspring test their growing speed in joyful bursts across flat salt pans, supervised by watchful elders. Playful antics inject vitality into the serious business of survival in extreme conditions. Joy finds a way to flourish even in the most demanding corners of Earth. Foraging systematically along ancient trails, the herd uncovers deep-rooted shrubs containing vital moisture beneath dry husks. Strong teeth and powerful jaws make quick work of fibrous stems, turning unpromising material into life-sustaining energy. Nothing is wasted, and every resource is exploited with consummate evolutionary skill. Mastery of the wilderness is demonstrated in every single deliberate action. Standing triumphant against the forces of nature, this living symbol of endurance continues its solitary reign over the desert. As shadows lengthen toward another approaching night, the timeless march presses onward into the glowing horizon. The secrets of survival remain safely guarded by the wind, the sand, and the unyielding spirit of the wild. Here ends another chapter in the epic story of the sands. Join the channel for more interesting facts.